This is your first girls game?
This is my first basketball game since the Nashwauk game last spring.
Oh, really?
Not done one this season. Been all hockey so far. So I'll be rusty.
Yeah. Wonder if that Taryn's pretty good.
She is.
Different player than her sister?
Yeah, she's more of a true off guard, I would say. Two and a half. Yeah, I can say that. That would be more of a David line.
That would be one of my lines. I was just looking at that. I was like, I like that joke. I only did it once with Asama.
Awesome.
Because he was playing awesome. I said, you knew I had to do it once. You know who does this song, Sheldon? I should know it, and I don't.
I can't use the glasses fogging up excuse here because in the gym they don't fog up even with my mask up.
Really?
In the arena they fog up to beat heck.
Just because of the moisture?
Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to the Grand Rapids Gym. It is basketball time on KOZY tonight. I'm Sheldon Willis along with David Moody, and we have the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks going up against the Duluth East Greyhounds in high school girls basketball action. And David, for a while we thought you were going to have to come do this game solo, but you get to just be you get to be the sidekick, whether that's good or bad.
See how this is starting? What a guy. You see how you are, Sheldon?
Yeah.
No, I'm happy to be here. It's not very often I get to watch Grand Rapids basketball. I do it traditionally, Big Fork, Deer River. We didn't have a game for them tonight, so no, I'm happy for the opportunity to see what Rapids has.
And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, well, the schedule is always a moving target this year. In the age of COVID, the Grand Rapids hockey game with Duluth Denfeld had been moved to this afternoon from March 16th, and then subsequently got canceled because of positive COVID test on the Duluth Denfeld team. So I wasn't going, and I was going. Now I am going, and now I'm here. We'll just go with what we got, right?
Yeah, if I could bake, I would make you some cookies or some brownies or something, Sheldon, because you've been working double time, triple time, getting the schedule all together, so appreciate your efforts. And like, you mentioned, it's unfortunate that had to be the case, but those are the times that we're living in, and that's going to be a factor as the season goes along.
Two very young teams here. As I was looking at it, I believe we have 3 seniors total between the two teams. No, I'm wrong. We have 2 seniors total between the two teams. 1 on each team. And for Grand Rapids, that is Jenny Bowman, and the rest of the team sophomore and younger. So they're going to have a competitive team for a lot of years, but right now it's very young. There is some experience. Some of these girls played as 8th and 9th graders last year, but they are very young and learning as they go.
Yeah, and very young, but there's a good tradition of basketball here in Rapids. At least since I've been here about 5 years, and it just seems like there's a good tradition. The JV, and just as they're brought up, they know how to play. So they're a little bit younger, but they've been playing together for some years, and I expect them to seem older on the court.
I would agree with that. We will take our first break, and when we come back, talk with head coach of the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks, Chris Hamling. You're listening to Thunderhawk Girls Basketball on 93.1 and 1320 KOZY. All right, did I get it? Give me a minute and a half, and did I get it balanced or not? All right. I don't like listening to Moody that loud. But
yeah, I was saying nobody does. Especially when I get excitable. So I usually, keep score. And fouls. Is there anything else I should try to keep a hold of? I can try to do turnovers, but sometimes it gets to be too much.
Yeah. Turnovers would be the next thing I'd look at, but
I'll try. David's last broadcast is at shut up. I hate this guy.
Birthday tomorrow?
Yeah. Cupcakes in the morning, buddy.
Sweet. Get it? Sweet. Cupcakes.
Oh, shut it. See, okay, maybe the Taryn joke not too far off.
That's true. I do dad jokes. Welcome back to the pregame show on KOZY with Chris Hamling, head coach of the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks. Well, a few games in, and I guess the one thing you've seen probably the best scorer Northern Minnesota has had to offer for a long time.
Yeah. We just weren't prepared. I mean, I guess, it says your second game in. We're not ready to play a box and one. We're not ready to play, triangle and two. Do you double team? Do you triple team? We just played it as it is. And, the girls got to see a fantastic shooter.
And she showed why she's closing in on 3,000 points.
Absolutely.
What did the girls learn from playing that game?
Just to be a little more aggressive. I think we just kind of let her have her way with us. And, they didn't really play her tight up on her and contest a lot of those shots. And then I think, too, they would set lots of screens. Even if we were in the zone, they'd set a screen, and we just were not hedging up and covering that and just had her gave her an open shot.
And for those who don't know, we are talking about Gianna Neepkins from Duluth Marshall. Other than that, you have kind of taken aback with how young this team is. One player that's older than a sophomore.
Yeah, we have one senior, and then everybody else is 10th and 9th graders. So it's amazing because I know what's coming back the next couple of years, and it's great because all we're going to do is get better and stronger and faster. So it's going to be awesome.
But how much did that, the short practice, the short prep time for this season, did that hurt you a little bit?
Kind of. We didn't really even have our teams put together until that second week. So, we were kind of low in numbers at our 9th grade, so we did have to pull up some 8th graders, which, I kind of knew who our varsity was, but we're still trying to figure out teams and things like that. So only having 3 to 4 days to prep before our first game, it was a little strenuous for us and a little nerve-wracking.
Going up against Duluth East, they're looking for their first win, but looks like they have some underclass talent as well.
Absolutely, yep. They've got that great scorer and oh my goodness, I know her name. My goodness gracious, Ashlyn Gunther. I've been reading it all day. So, she's a great scorer, and I think we just have to contain her and make the other girls, if we kind of contain her and guard everybody else, I think that we'll be able to succeed tonight.
Do you have some new defenses that you've been practicing by this time that you could do some more creative things if you needed to tonight?
This group, actually, I can tell them whatever defense to get into, and we can switch instantly. And they've really executed nicely. Proctor, We went from man to man, we went to a full court man, we went from a press zone to back to a half court zone, and they did it awesomely. I mean, they just did a really nice job with it. And, you know, offensives, we are trying to keep it simple for them, a lot of movement, and they've just been executing nicely for us.
Well, good luck tonight, Coach. I'm looking forward to seeing some basketball.
Thank you so much.
And that is head coach of the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks, Chris Hamling, as we get closer to tip-off time and talking about facing Jana Neepkins, the outstanding senior for Duluth Marshall, going to be one of the top scorers ever in the state of Minnesota, led them to a state tournament appearance last year. So that's the second time out, and I believe she had 41 or something along those lines against Grand Rapids. She's averaging over 30, so that's getting to face some of the elite in Minnesota.
Well, and that's got to be cool. I mean, to be that girl, to be setting those records. I mean, how long have they been playing basketball in Minnesota, and to be among the best of the best, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely it is, and you love to see some of those standout players in northern Minnesota, whether it's an Alex Ilikainen, Heaven Hamling, you know, and then some from other parts of northern Minnesota. You just love to see, you know, an Anders Broman, for instance, any of those top line college, even into pro talents.
Well, yeah, and it's you know, it's a big state. Not all the talent comes down in the cities area, all right? It's a big state, and we got plenty of talent up here too. Who is that one big NBA player? Why can't I think of his name right now?
Hibbing, Kevin McHale?
Yeah, thank you. I was
very
good.
good.
See? I couldn't think of the name, but I knew they had somebody.
NBA Hall of Famer, you know, that's probably still certainly the standard by which northern Minnesota basketball players will be measured for a long time. But other than that, the Thunderhawks with 2 victories, a 59-44 win over Hibbing and a 46-32 win over Proctor. So other than Duluth Marshall holding opponents to 44 and 32 points, that's pretty good.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, Duluth Marshall winless, but they play Hermantown twice. They've only played 2 teams. They lost the first game against Hibbing, but all the games have been relatively close. Yep. 68-59, 58-53, 73-65, you're right there.
And they put up some points, you know, 65 against Hermantown last time. And Ashlyn Gunther she was mentioned by Coach Hamling as she's averaging 26.7 points a game for the Duluth East Greyhounds. So I'm sure she will come in for a little extra defensive notice.
Sorry, I got distracted. We were getting asked a question.
A technical question that we couldn't answer.
Yeah, we couldn't help out with that one. But, you know, you're going to have to bring the help for Grand Rapids. You know, 2-1 on the season. Obviously very young, but you know, like Coach Hamling said, they're reading things right. It's just now the timing, and once that blossoms, they're going to be real fun to watch.
We'll take another break and come back with Richard Wind, head coach of the Duluth East Greyhounds. You're listening to Thunderhawk basketball. I had to remember what sport it was. It's a round ball. Yeah, we're good. Thunderhawk basketball on 93.1 and 1320 KOZY.
Sorry, Sheldon. I was distracted. I couldn't hear what you were saying with them.
All righty. That's all right.
I hope I didn't sound too stupid.
No. Remember, we are on the stream during break. Hello, everyone.
Oh, I just apologize to everyone.
There you go. That's right. Minute and a half, by the way, Super Joe. Yeah, they got the expert up here. Yeah, having trouble with their modem and mounting. That isn't something I would mess with anyways. Welcome back to the pregame show on KOZY with Richard Wendt, head coach, Duluth East Greyhounds. Almost forgot the name of the team. It's one of those, everything's weird. But we're playing basketball, and talk a little bit about Duluth East basketball so far this year.
Sure. Well, you know, we're young. We're a pretty young team. Our best player, Ashlyn Gunther, she's a sophomore. She's averaging about 26 per game, about 10 rebounds per game. Really good. We've got her for the next, 3 years, so that's pretty awesome. We're really working with our younger girls. We started 8th grader, Regan Jarman. She's averaging about 11. She's really starting to come into her own, getting some experience this year. Macy DeRozier, a junior, played last year, started for us, having a nice season, starting to come into her own. Like I said, we're pretty young this year. We're just starting to come together a little bit. We've had some injuries. Rachel Hagen's out for the year with a torn ACL, she would have easily been our second best player on the team. And then on 11, she's a senior. She's out for the next week or so with an Achilles. So we're a little bit thin, but we're playing a lot of younger girls, which is really good for the future. As you can see here, our JV, we've got 4 8th graders on the JV, and I think our future looks pretty bright. So we're going to get through some of these bumps in the road with some of these younger girls, but we're going to get that experience, and I really like the direction we're heading.
And as I looked, both of these teams very young, both depending on sophomores for a top scorer.
Right.
Do you see some similarities between these two teams tonight?
Well, I do. I mean, I look at Grand Rapids, they're all young too. They're all freshmen and sophomores, and they're going to be good for years to come. Obviously, Hamling over on the other side, the stud, got to keep an eye on her. She can do a little bit of everything. Obviously can shoot it, and we'll definitely try to clamp down on her as much as we can. But I mean, I remember watching their JV last year, and that JV was probably the best JV I had easily seen all year. And a lot of those girls are starting or on this team, with a lot of freshmen and sophomores and the one senior starter, but they're really young. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty good test for us to kind of see where our young players are. And I expect it to be a pretty good game.
Well, and obviously everyone knows, you and I are in Masters. You're holding the mic, so we can
right.
apart a little bit and all of that. So talk a little bit about playing through a pandemic and just how it's affected the team.
Well, I think our girls have done a pretty good job. Obviously, the masks are a tough thing. I mean, you come into a season, there's no open gyms. We started a fall league and it got put on hold. So the conditioning to start with, I think with a lot of our girls was not good. Obviously not going to school, no gym classes, nothing like that. So probably not a lot of exercise. And then you throw a mask on top of it and then you try to get in shape. And I know with our team, we had probably 4 strained quads in the first week just because probably haven't been doing a whole lot. I mean, you try to give them stuff to do, but I mean, they're kids, So yeah, it's tough with the pandemic. You got the mask, you're trying to get back in shape. It's a struggle a little bit, but everybody's in the same boat and can't make excuses, and you just got to play hard and work hard, and hopefully everything will take care of itself in the end.
Well, I know every day and every week is kind of an adventure right now, but we're happy to be playing basketball tonight. Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that is Richard Wendt, head coach of the Duluth East Greyhounds. And as you may have heard, my voice a little softer on the interview because so we could stand apart a little bit, he just held the phone and I asked the questions from afar and tried not to talk too much.
No, I thought you sounded good.
And Richard Wendt, thankful to him that he took time to do a pregame interview here tonight. And a team, again, we talked about it in our first break. They're both young, and we're going to see some young, solid talent here tonight.
Both young, and then, I think he touched on something, too, that's interesting. No open gym. So for a young team to not really be able to play together, and then you've got the concerns with the mask when you can meet up, and they've only got 3 games in, so it's going to be a little bumpy, but things will get better as the season goes.
And he mentioned Taryn Hamling, of course. Coach Chris Hamling mentioned Ashlyn Gunther. Both coaches very aware of who the other team is bringing and that some of the challenges they have defensively.
Well, you better be. I mean, you're the head coach. You got to know who to scheme for. So I'm glad to hear that both coaches, even during today's times, still scouting and still trying to come up with a game plan to win.
We'll take a break. Come back with starting lineups opening tip. You're listening to Thunderhawk Basketball on 93.1 and 1320 KOZY. Give me 2.5.
Can't get my throat clear.
And back at the Grand Rapids Gym as we get set for starting lineups, going over the COVID protocol. And for Grand Rapids basketball, first basketball game I've been to this winter, and they have the JV fans sitting on this side, then they clear the gym, let the home team fans come on the other side, so you're always just use the disinfected, ready to go bleachers for one game each, and they clear the gym between games.
Oh, and they've got the spots where you can sit 6 feet apart. I mean, just the effort and the creativity of everyone involved to make fans be able to come to this game and support their kids a lot of the time. It's remarkable. I don't know who all the thanks. I'll just thank y'all.
As let's go over starting lineups first. For the Duluth East Greyhounds, they will start a 5'8 junior, number 1, Riley Stevens, and number 4, 5'7 junior guard, Macy DeRozier. DeRozier averaging 10 points a game. She's the third, leading scorer. 3 players averaging in double digits for the Greyhounds. Also, Ashlyn Gunther, we've talked about that, a 5'10 sophomore, 26.7 points per game on the season. Emma Hariza, a 5'5 senior, the one senior on the Greyhounds roster, and Reagan Juneman, a 5'7 8th grader, and she's averaging 11 points a game. As they finish up with the Duluth East Greyhounds introductions, as Reagan Juneman comes out for the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks, they will start Katie Jamgard. Jamgard, sophomore, number 10, Kyra Giffen. Number 13, and she is also a sophomore. And I know I watched Kyra play some volleyball. Very athletic, lanky sophomore. Jessica Lofstrom plays up front, number 20, averaging just under 10 points a game. Taryn Hamling, point guard, shooting guard, number 21, sophomore, 15.7 points a game. And the lone senior is up front in the middle, Jenny Bowman, 11.7 points a game, and one of the captains, Taryn Hamling, also a captain. You know, you get to be a captain as a sophomore when all there is one senior and no juniors.
Yeah, she's also very talented, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goes into it. Now, I maybe saw her play slightly as a freshman, but her older sister was one of the best ball handlers I've ever watched, boys or girls.
And Heaven now playing for NDSU, and I have seen some highlights. She's breaking ankles in D1 for NDSU. Has been playing point guard. We had her on the Sports Issue a few weeks ago, and playing great and starting for NDSU.
I like to hear that. You know, being that I've watched her, that's fun. But yeah, she could. Some of her crossovers, I felt like I was going to lose my sneakers sitting up here.
As the players now have been introduced, getting last-minute instructions from the coaches, and we will be ready for basketball action here from the Grand Rapids gym.
See Rapids orange on orange, Duluth East white on white. Looks like Duluth East going right to left and Grand Rapids left to right in your radio.
And a little bit of red trim on the Greyhounds jersey and black trim on the orange at Grand Rapids home jerseys. And we are set and off the tap. Duluth East going forward in the corner, but stepping on the line, so it'll be a turnover to start, and Grand Rapids will get the ball and go left to right.
Giffen saved the easy bucket there. That got tipped right to the Duluth player. She was rushing down the far side of the lane. It would have been an easy layup, but Giffen just tipped it away, and then it went out on Duluth East. Great play right off the jump.
Inbounding will be Jamgard, and Duluth East looks like they're coming out in full court pressure.
Yeah, trying to get early turnovers as Grand Rapids isn't settled in the game yet.
Hamling will bring it to Giffen, and Giffen quickly to LaPlante, or to Jamgard rather, who goes up and travels. Dueling turnovers as we start.
Yeah, they beat the press pretty easily, though. They keep doing that. You'll see Duluth East start to sag off.
Comes to Horizon. Grand Rapids also comes out in a press. So both teams trying to test the ball handling here early on. Horizon will move it up on the sideline, get it to Stevens. Outside, and the three-pointer for Gunther goes down. You see why she's averaging 26.5.
Yeah, beautiful shooting stroke. Caught it just right there. Boom, up, shot, beautiful arc, nothing but net.
Hamling goes far side to Giffen. Giffen now back to Hamling straight away outside the three-point line. Plays catch with Giffen. Now Bowman at the free throw line goes inside. Turn around up. Oh, ribs out for Lofstrom. Inside, tipped around. Who's got it? As it is Gunther for Duluth East. Leading 3-0, going right to left. Crossing the timeline is Gunther. Puts her head down, drives, goes up, got it and won. Gunther, 5 quick points and a chance for number 6.
Well, it's a minute in, and I can see why she's feared. What a drive. That was power, too. With contact, got that default chance for a three-point play here. Lostrom's first personal, first team foul on either team.
The add-on free throw for Gunther is good. And 6 points all to Ashlyn Gunther. 6-0 Duluth East as we get going.
Already out of the full court press, they went back to half-court defense.
Bowman tries to drive, taken away. Back come the Greyhounds. Down the floor and rolling it in is Juneman. And I believe they're going to get the and one on this as well, as Juneman drops it in for an 8-0 lead. Yep, blocking foul. Oh, they called it on the floor.
Did they?
That's what I thought I saw. No, can't be.
I mean, everybody's still standing at the line.
That's what I thought I saw the referee point to the floor.
No,
he's saying good basket. Got it.
Rapids not doing themselves any favors. Back-to-back three-point opportunities at the charity stripe. Trying to be physical down low, sending them to the line.
And this one goes against Jamgard, her first, team second. And the free throw, no good, but still an 8-0 lead for Duluth East. Lofstrom comes down the near side. Hamling kicks it back out. Now Lofstrom back outside. Now comes to Hamling. Hamling to Giffen. Kyra Giffen directs traffic. Goes far side to Jamgard. Jamgard back to Hamling. 8-0 Duluth East. Three-pointer up, no good from Kyra Giffen. Inside, counted for Lofstrom and one.
Well, the defense lost Giffen. She put up the three-point attempt off the rim. There to clean it up was Lofstrom, and then good patience down low. Initial fake, got the defender by her, rose up again, got the contact. Now a chance for a three-point play for Rapids.
8-2 Duluth East. As that foul goes against Gunther. Free throw no good. And back come the Greyhounds.
Double dribble possibly missed there.
On the outside, here's Hariza. Now back out to Stevens. Stevens straight away beyond the three-point line. Drives, throws up a wild shot. Ball bounces around, and it's on the floor. We'll get a tie-up, and this should go Duluth East way. Actually, I thought Duluth East controlled the opening tip. It should be Rapids ball, but they didn't call control, I guess, just out of bounds.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Giffen had tipped it out, so they say that Rapids actually won that.
Has the ball on the floor, and it'll be picked up by Bowman. Here comes Giffen for the Thunderhawks. Giffen almost loses control, picks up the dribble, back outside. It goes, here's Hamling. Hamling hasn't taken a shot yet. That'll change soon. Has Jamgard inside, up, no. And the rebound out of bounds. That's a nice box out by Riley Stevens.
You know, Hamling hasn't scored yet, but she's touched the ball every possession. It's no secret who the driving engine of this offense is.
8-2. Duluth East in the lead here early. As it bounces down low. Now here's Gunther. Gunther had the first 6 points. Drives, kicks it back out, traveled.
Good defense that time by Grand Rapids. Right up in her face, not intimidated, didn't back down. I didn't catch the number. I think, was that 10? Is that Jamgard?
I believe so.
Yeah, Jamgard, great defense that time, forcing the turnover.
Hamling will bring the ball up the floor. No pressure now. Pressure, what, the first two times?
Yep.
And after that, no more. Lofstrom on the outside, comes near side to Giffen. Now Bowman. Bowman over to Giffen. Lobs back to Bowman, but it's tipped away. Turnover on the Thunderhawks, and back come the Greyhounds on the blocks. Put it up, wild shot. And that's maybe one Wynn says, let's stop and let help come. A 1-on-3 attempt and a tough shot. Grand Rapids with the rebound. They'll set the offense. Giffen on the far side. Giffen looks to drive, has some room, rolls to the rim, can't finish. Everything right except the ball wouldn't roll in.
Well, she got a free drive to the bucket on a nice pick, and it just happens that way sometimes. She'd like that one back, as we have a foul now on the court as Duluth East was driving to the bucket.
Brea LaPlante will check in.
It'll be on Hamling. It's going to be the third team foul on the Thunderhawks. Hamling's first.
And checking out will be Kate Jamgard with LaPlante coming in. This gives a little more size. LaPlante, another youngster. She is just a freshman, but was a starting setter on the volleyball team as a freshman this last fall. On the far side it goes. 8-2, Duluth East here early. Caitlin Kuklock in the game for, or no, that is 23 Juneman. I thought I saw 33 for a moment. Inside and up, no good for Gunther, but she will go to the line for a couple free throws.
Well, you know, good patience shown that time by the Greyhounds. They've had about 3 or 4 possessions in a row where it seemed rushed. They relaxed a little bit that time, got it to their big breadwinner and Gunther down low, and she does what she does best, get in contact, getting to the line.
2 free throws coming for Ashlyn Gunther. First one good. 9-2. We hadn't had a bucket for a while. Still haven't had a field goal, but finally a free throw. Score hadn't changed for, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah, at least. You know, each team's starting slow offensively, but they're running around well, and they seem engaged. The buckets will start coming.
Both free throws good for Gunther. Makes it 10-2. Duluth East leading by 8. Jamgard. Now here's LaPlante, backside, and a beautiful job of seeing the floor, and Jamgard finishes on the backside for a bucket, 10-4.
That was a nice play. Jamgard gave it up to the far wing. They passed to the near wing, and in that time, Jamgard leaked her way down the far side lane, created a lot of space for herself. Defense didn't know who to guard.
And now a steal, and back come the Thunderhawks, trailing 10-4. Try to go inside. We're going to have a pushing foul.
And if that's on Gunther, that'll be her second early.
It is.
And she will sub out. Wint does not want to take a a risk, but then she goes back in. So she came out for a second, then had to go back in. So they are going to roll the dice a little bit. She'll try not to pick up 3.
On the outside, launching the corner 3, and burying it is Taryn Hamling, and just like that, it's 10-7.
Yeah, her first make of the game, she inbounded the ball and made her way over to the far corner. Defense didn't go with her, left her wide open for the easy bucket.
And that is her first shot as well. In the corner, DeRozier now comes to Zwak, who's in the game, number 31. The drive, put up the left-hander for Juneman. That's a nice bucket and makes it 12-7.
Tough shot. Giffen was in good position, kind of an awkward hook shot, but she got it in off the glass.
Hamling comes near side to LaPlante. LaPlante, top of the key, now in the middle, has the ball poked away, and numbers for Duluth East coming in, but can't.
Oh, and the charge call.
That is it. After the pass was made by DeRozier, they say she continued on and ran over the Grand Rapids defender, and she had thrown the ball away, so it would have been a turnover either way.
That was very crafty by Hamling, the sophomore leader for Grand Rapids. Even after the pass, she set her feet. You don't have to have the ball to get a charging call, and the official was right there.
12-7 Duluth East, 12:22 to go, first half. LaPlante to Jamgard. Come back to Giffen, Kyra Giffen. Play a little inside-outside. Now LaPlante still working around the outside. Hamling top of the key, middle of the lane. Baseline jumper for LaPlante goes in. And just like that, it's 12-9.
You know, Rapids is trailing, but if you've been watching the last 3 or 4 minutes, they've been in control. They got off to it. They gave up an 8-0 run to start the game, but otherwise they've been playing better basketball here lately.
Certainly running the half-court offense more smoothly as we have a whistle and a timeout called, and it'll be a full timeout by Richard Wynn, so we'll take a full timeout as well. 12-9 Duluth East. You're listening to it on 93.1 and 1320 KOZY.
Sounding good, Sheldon.
First couple possessions felt rusty, but now it feels a little better. Duluth East with the basketball after the timeout, but they were actually the ones calling the timeout. I'm not sure if Coach Wint is real happy with how the offense is rolling right now.
Yeah, I think he just wants them to relax a little bit. They've seemed a little rushed, and they forced up some shots, and you don't have to in high school especially. There is no shot clock, so just run your offense, run your plays, take what the defense gives you, I'm sure was his message.
Amanda Scherping checking in for Kyra Giffen for the Thunderhawks. Inbounding under their own basket, Duluth East. Throw it inside. Gunther puts it up. No, good defense by Jenny Bowman. And the Thunderhawks will take it away and then draw the foul.
Yeah, nice double team. You had Bowman down low along with Jamgard. They inbound to Gunther, and she wanted to just put it up. She was in the far side low post, but she was just sandwiched, and they were able to get the ball back and then, as you mentioned, get the foul on Juneman.
So team fouls now 4 apiece, 11:33 to go, 12-9 Duluth East. Jamgard for Bowman. They working around the outside, Scherping to LaPlante. LaPlante now to Hamling. She'll take the long three. Front rim no good. Rebound Jamgard. Turns, tries to go back outside to Scherping, but that's taken away on the rush, and we're going to get a tie-up call. Oh, I thought they were going to call the foul on Rapids, but it was all ball. I actually think I agree with that call. Let them play a little bit.
Yeah, I would have maybe thought maybe a block. I just didn't know if they held their hands on the ball that long together. I don't know how long the rule book is, but can't argue that.
Well, you can argue anything. It just doesn't help.
Sure.
Inside it goes. Sherping turns, gets out of control, and the ball taken away by the Greyhounds. 12-9 Greyhounds. Greyhounds ball thrown away. Thunderhawks ball.
Yeah, I think I meant you just can't be mad at it. You can see how that was the case. And we mentioned Duluth East started the game with the full court press. Then they went to half court running 2-3 zone right now.
As they will check Stevens back in for Zwack. Thunderhawks cross the timeline. Hamling brings it to Jamgard. Jamgard back to Bowman. And the three-pointer, front rim no good from LaPlante on the far side. And back come the Greyhounds. Quickly ahead. Nice job of corralling that by Horiza. Was kind of behind her. Into the lane, throws it to the far side. Now straight away, it's Juneman. Juneman. Now straight away for Gunther. Gunther goes inside. Grand Rapids was playing her straight up on the outside, and she didn't take the shot. Now inside, knocked away. Beautiful defense again by Jenny Bowman. Thunderhawks with the ball off the turnover. Still trailing 12-9. The drive. Hamling puts it up. It won't fall. No one there for the rebound except white jerseys. And Gunther brings the ball back up the other way. Gunther drives all the way in. The underhand scoop left-handed, lays it home. Whew, give her a due there. She earned that one.
Yeah, earned that. You almost want to give her more points for that one as she had the defender all over her and then underhand scooped it around the defender and banked it in.
Yeah, that degree of difficulty should have given her at least one extra point. LaPlante, the drive, the finish, and one. Brea LaPlante makes it 14-11. And she will be at the free throw. I'm sure they called the bucket good, didn't? Yeah, there it goes. Thank you.
Yeah, it just seems to be a little delayed getting up on the scoreboard. DeRozier's going to get called for her second personal. 5 team fouls on Duluth East, 4 on Grand Rapids. LaPlante to try to finish the three-point play. She's a 50% free throw shooter. She's the first Rapids player with more than one bucket here tonight. Well-balanced attack.
Free throw no good, but the offensive rebound run down, and Rapids will reset. Hamling catch and shoot, and has the angle three, and it's 14-14. Hamling a couple three-pointers.
That was about 4 steps beyond the three-point arc. That was from way downtown.
That was college line three, no doubt about it. And shot it in rhythm, no one around her. Inside it goes to Zwack. Zwack kicks it back outside. Now Horiza leaves it on the far side, on the wing for Stevens. Stevens drives to the middle, leaves it for Zwack. Tied at 14 after an early 8-0 Duluth East lead. Drive to the edge of the post, but a traveling call and a turnover, and Grand Rapids just played straight up man-to-man, solid in-your-face defense that whole possession.
Yeah, well, they've been doing that for the past few possessions as long as I can remember, and they're so tight. They haven't lost their girls. I think if you're Duluth East, you're going to have to run some more picks because right now Rapids is sticking on them.
14-14, Rapids with the ball, chance to take their first lead of the game. Jamgard has the ball go off her leg, but it comes inside. Bowman, Jamgard finishes. Jamgard gives Grand Rapids their first lead of the game at 16-14.
Good job staying with the play for Jamgard. She loses the ball, immediately recognizes that her teammate's going to pick it up. She rolls to the bucket, and there to clean it up and get the lay-in.
Stevens, double dribble, another turnover. And my goodness, after the first quick 6 points for Ashlyn Gunther, Grand Rapids has absolutely smothered her.
Yeah, you like to see the on-the-fly adjustments like that. Coach Hamling doing a good job recognizing that she was hurting them, and they made the proper adjustments.
Try to go inside to Bowman. That's tipped away, and Gunther has the turnover. Grand Rapids leads by 2. Long pass ahead to Zwack. Zwack in the post. Oh, little baby hook goes in, and we're tied at 16.
Yeah, and she took some contact on that, too. No foul. That was a tough shot. Good job to power that in.
LaPlante, pump fake, goes for the mid-range jumper, no. Back comes Gunther for Duluth East. We're tied at 16, 7:23 to go first half here from the Grand Rapids gym.
And Gunther directing some traffic.
Now on the outside, Stevens goes to the far wing. Gunther on the blocks, goes up against Bowman, and she will draw the foul on Bowman and go to the line for two. I don't know, you know, we always remember the Jordan rules, right? I don't know if there's Gunther rules, but boy, it looked like Bowman did everything she could to stay straight up and down and move her feet and not get caught.
Well, and I noticed they're doubling her too when she gets down low.
Right.
Coming on the help defense was Giffen, basically trying to take the game out of her hands. You can let some of the other teammates beat you, but you don't want her to beat you. At least that's what I'm seeing from Rapids.
First free throw no good for Gunther. 7:02 to go. And tied at 16. It was an early 8-0 lead for Duluth East. And Grand Rapids then came back for the 16-14 lead. Now 17-16 in favor of Duluth East. LaPlante working around the outside. Here's Giffen. Giffen gets it in the paint. And traveled. Yes, she did. Changed the pivot foot.
Yeah, she was looking for a teammate to pass the ball to, and the teammate wasn't there. So then she turned to find somebody else, and in the process, she shuffled her feet.
6:44 to go, 1 point Duluth East lead. First half action here from the Grand Rapids gym. Three-pointer up and rattle it home for Reagan Juneman. And just like that, back to a 4-point Duluth East lead as they're on a 6-0 run.
That was good ball movement. Zwack got the pass and immediately fired it off to her left for the three.
Corner three doesn't go. The rebound to Bowman. No, as she drives the lane. Couldn't finish on the offensive putback.
Yeah, after the timeout, the Greyhounds really seem to have found their stride again.
And a travel as she starts the drive on Juneman. So another turnover on Duluth East.
And those are the most frustrating turnovers as a player when you know it's your fault. When you start running before you dribble, because it happens, but it's frustrating.
And it's a non-forced turnover, which makes it hard. Sherping comes back in. Bowman, LaPlante sit down. And who else came in? That would be Lofstrom, I would believe. Inside to Jamgard. Jamgard with the finish and cuts the Duluth East lead to 2 at 20-18.
Yeah, nice give and go. She gave it to Giffen in the near corner, cut to the basket. Giffen right back to her. It's elementary, my dear Watson.
On the outside, here's Hariza. Hariza puts it inside, unable to finish there with Stevens as it's knocked out of bounds. It will remain Duluth East basketball. Inbounding will be Juneman. Reagan Juneman better find it and didn't. 5-second call, turnover. Well, you got to run someone off a pick, get someone open there. Grand Rapids just like glue.
Oh, I mentioned that earlier. The Duluth East needs to adjust and start running picks because I don't know if the Rapids has magnets in their pockets or what, but they are just stuck on the offensive players. Duluth East can't get any space.
Jamgard drives the baseline back to Sherping, and Sherping's shot hits the rim about 5 times and then rolls off. Coming back, Giffen, the turnover. Hamling will finish, and Grand Rapids has tied it back up at 20.
Where's the liaison officer? We got to arrest Giffen for that theft in the backcourt. What a steal.
Now here's Gunther. Gunther spins into the lane. Nice move, finishes, and one. Got her defender going to the left and cut back to the right.
That was pretty and super tough to defend. They've been really closing in on Gunther, so she goes for the little misdirection, fakes going to her left, spins back to her right, and creates a lot of space for herself to lay that one in. Beautiful move.
22-20 Duluth East. Jamgard for the three-point play. And what made it so effective is it wasn't just a little shoulder or feint. She actually went that direction for a step and got the defender moving.
Yeah, and then just immediately put him in the spin cycle going the other way. It's a veteran move.
And we have the Free throw no good for Gunther, and a foul on the rebound. That will go against Juneman, her second. 16 fouls apiece, so bonus the rest of the way for both teams.
Yeah, and that Gunther, just a sophomore too. Very impressed by the stars that we have that are underclassmen here tonight.
On the outside it goes. Giffen looks to drive, kick it back outside to Hamling, looking for a little room. Hamling looks to drive, and we have a foul on the outside on the floor, but it'll be a 1-and-1 for somebody.
Boy, she's quick, isn't she?
She's
got the ball, like those movements just in like a foot where it's like acceleration, that burst, she's got it. Great first step.
Hamling will be at the line for a 1-and-1. And Hamling so far, I almost hate to say this, she's 7 for 7 from the free throw line so far this season.
We don't even have a wood table to knock on, Sheldon.
Yeah, no kidding.
We'll do this little plastic table. See what you've done? She missed it.
I'm not going to have any Dr. Pepper for a week, I know. Inside, and it won't go down for Hariza. And then we'll have a foul on the rebound, and Hamling will have the front end of a 1-and-1 again. Rapids are trailing 22-20 right now.
When I tell you another foul on Duluth East, and there's 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half, this could really be a big impact on the halftime score if Rapids able to take advantage of all this time in the bonus, which they are so far.
And it's not Hamling on the 1-and-1, that is Giffen. Kyra Giffen gets the front end, has another one coming.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's Giffen's first make here tonight, first point. She's been very active on offense, very involved, made some nice passes. Defensively had a nice steal a little bit ago as well.
Has a very quick release on that free throw line, as we're going to have a foul the other way now on the rebound, as Giffen hits 1 of 2, cuts the Duluth East lead to 1 at 22-21.
Lofstrom's third foul, and now into the bonus is Duluth East. So each team with 4.5 minutes of potential free throw shooting here. We'll see if either team decides to back off a little bit in the latter minutes of this first half so as to not send the other team to the line.
Riley Stevens, no, and a lot of those fouls have been on contested rebounds. Both teams crashing the boards hard as they lost Hannah Hostetter, right? Number 14, beat everyone down the floor, gets the easy 2, and Grand Rapids now up by 1.
Well, great vision by Jamgard to find her, and a beautiful pass hit her right in stride.
As Gunther will drain a 3, make it 25-23.
Defender in her face, that's what we call cold-blooded.
As Hamling will bring it across the half-court line. Come to Bowman. Bowman now to Hofstetter. Hofstetter back to Bowman. Turns. Oh, nice post move. Spins through the lane and lays it home.
When she caught Gunther sleeping there, Gunther just kind of stood straight up. I don't know if she thought she was rolling the other way, but she rolled right by her for the easy layup. Maybe Gunther worried about not picking up another foul.
A third foul. I was wondering about that. Just tried to play it straight up, going in, and that's blocked by Bowman. Grand Rapids takes over. Giffen into the front court, double team, but fouled.
Yeah, she dribbled right into the teeth of 2 defenders, and it's actually going to work out in her favor.
That's a bailout call. Coach Wimp was not happy with that call.
No, I mean, she dribbled right into the double team. It's going to be the second foul called on Hariza.
And Giffen, who hit the front end of a 1-and-1, couldn't finish off both of them just a bit ago, has 2 coming. And gets the first one to roll in, has another one. 67% free throw shooter on the year. I like it when teams have stats online. Gives you a lot more to talk about. Second one also good for Giffen, and it's a 2-point Grand Rapids lead at 27-25.
It's actually the second highest mark on the team. Only one shooting a higher percentage is Bowman. Or I take that back, Hamling. They've got 100% free throw shooting.
Yeah, well now 7 of 8.
Not since you jinxed it. That's right.
Yeah, it's my fault, and she's going to be on our post-game interview. I'll tell her it's my fault. Driving in, laying it up, no good, and the rebound to Giffen. Thunderhawks with a 2-point lead, chance to make it the largest lead of the game for them. As Hamling will launch the 3. Oh, that went halfway down, came back out, but bounces out of bounds off a Greyhound, and we'll have Grand Rapids basketball.
She looked almost identical to her sister's shot on that one. That was just that quick three and in and out. I mean, rimmed in and out. Close.
It was also one of those high arcing threes. And
what a move.
As she just threw it off the back of a defender, picked it up and tried to lay it in and couldn't quite finish.
That's why you never turn your back to the inbounder. Hamling almost with the web gem there. Got it in off the back, grabbed the ball, put it up, but unable to capitalize. But very crafty. She's a very smart player.
I bet Heaven did that to her a few years ago. And I could do that sometime.
You learned that trick, yeah.
That's right. That's what big sisters are for, right? 27-25 Duluth East, trailing Grand Rapids, 2:34 to go. You want to highlight some of our sponsors, David?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, these broadcasts couldn't be possible without the community coming together. Let's thank some of them now. Grand Rapids State Bank, Super One Foods, M&H Convenience Store, Mediacom, GRPUC, as well as Nooches in the Corner. Sure appreciate your contributions to this broadcast.
27-25. It's been a close one throughout. As we saw Duluth East, as we've talked about, grabbed the early lead. Grand Rapids closed it down, and now it's just been back and forth with 1 to 2 point lead either way. This is developing into a fun game to watch.
Yeah, and a couple different styles. You know, Duluth East Greyhounds seem to be pretty star heavy, relying on Gunther. That's who they're going through, and she's been responding in a big way, and it hasn't been easy. And that's really the sign of a great player, when you can still score when the other team's doubling you and got their highlights on you. She's got 16 first half points. For the Thunderhawks, more of a balanced attack. Nobody in double digits yet. The leading scorer is Hamling. She had 2 made threes and 1 field goal. She's got 8, and then Jamgard's got 6.
Duluth East ball off the timeout as Riley Stevens will inbound right in front of the Grand Rapids bench. And the inbound comes to Gunther. Gunther works it around the outside to Hariza. Hariza inside, that's a travel. Yes, it is to Juneman.
You know, it's a couple on Juneman, and I'm surprised. You know, she's got good size out there on the court. Just an 8th grader, so she's taken some lumps. But, man, you can really see that she's going to have a bright future. I mean, she's playing very well, especially for an 8th grader, but just a little mistake there. A couple travels she's had tonight.
Give and go. Giffen down low, kicks it back outside to LaPlante. LaPlante, the drive, but the kick out to Hamling. Little drive and dish going on. Now a baseline drive. Finds Giffen, and Giffen's baseline jumper won't fall.
They got everything but the bucket there. That was perfect offense. The shot's not there. Take what the defense gives you. She ended up with an open shot. That's all you can ask for.
Gunther tries to drive, gets out of control, and will get the blocking call and will go to the line for a couple free throws.
Yeah, tough call. You know, Jamgard's pleading her defense, but her feet weren't set. Gunther was out of control, but you got to set your feet in that scenario and give the official no choice but to call it on the offense.
27-25, and Gunther with 2 free throws to tie here late in the first half. Gets the first one, second one upcoming. She has been the offense for Duluth East.
Yeah, 17 points so far with that make.
1:53 to go, first half, second one good, and we're all tied at 27.
What a game, back and forth the whole way.
Hamling on the far side to Bowman. Now Hamling gets it back. Hamling to LaPlante. LaPlante at the angle. Now other side to Giffen. Bowman hands it off to Jamgard. Tied up, taken away. And coming down, laying it up. No good. Good defense by Giffen, but then she is called, said she didn't establish back in bounds before she touched that ball.
Well, yeah, it was good defense by Hariza. I thought for a second that was going to be a call to jump ball, and then all of a sudden she was free, rolling to the hole. Good closeout defense, though, by Rapids, not to give up anything easy.
Tied at 27, minute 19 to go. Three-pointer won't fall. Backside rebound, no good for Duluth East. That was DeRozier with the putback attempt.
Yeah, Rapids got away with one there. They left Stevens wide open for the 3, unable to get it.
Jamgard goes inside to Bowman, finds a cutting Giffen, who lays it home. Bing, bang, boom. I loved it.
Yeah, and that was all in the eyes. They locked eyes. She saw, all right, cut right now, went, and that's just 2 teammates who are gelling well right now.
Grand Rapids by 2, 45 seconds left, first half. 29-27. Ball knocked into the backcourt. Grand Rapids will get to it, and ahead to Hamling, who lays it home. Hamling makes it 31-27. Boy, a little run at the end of a half always makes things tough, and Grand Rapids right now working on a little 4-0 run. On the outside, here's Stevens. Stevens goes inside. Oh, nice cut to the hoop and the left-handed lay-in by DeRozier.
Well, how about that pass there? There was not much space for that. It had to be perfect right over Hamling's defense, and then she's able to get her first bucket. DeRozier is.
Jamgard puts it up at the buzzer, won't fall, and we come to halftime with Grand Rapids leading by 2 at 31-29. We'll take a break. You're listening to Thunderhawk Basketball on 93.1 and 1320 KOZY. Give me 3.
Here, you want to mute it quick? Yeah, I had to double look on that Juniman that she's just an 8th grader. She's big.
Yeah.
Tall.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, she'll be a heck of a player.
Well, Brea LaPlante as well, being just a 9th grader.
Yeah, she's got good height to her too.
Yeah, the basketball got progressively better as the half went on. I liked it.
See, and that's how it was for me yesterday too. I think it's just this early season stuff, again, with the coaches saying, you can't practice, and then you get in the flow of the game, and then by halftime, you're all warmed up.
Yeah.
Beautiful court.
Yeah, I like this.
When did they do this?
Let's see. They did they've done the floor since I've been here. Like
what are you,
2 years
in?
ago? Yeah, I'm into my 7th year, yeah.
Well, what did you say was 2 years ago?
That they redid the floor.
Oh.
I mean, the gym itself has been here, but
Sure, yeah, I meant the floor, I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that smoky gray in the lane. Like charcoal or something.
Yeah. Back at the Grand Rapids gym, we're at halftime. Girls basketball action, and it's been a good one. We expect a good second half as well. After a quick 8-0 Duluth East lead, Grand Rapids shut it down, and we were tied at 16. And since then, I think the biggest lead has been 4 for Grand Rapids right before halftime, and then Duluth East cut that back to 2.
Yeah, it's been kind of a game of runs. Each team goes on like a little 4-0 run, 6-0 run, then the other team answers right back. It hasn't been exactly trading buckets, but either way, we end up with a 2-point halftime deficit.
And a game of runs, but all mini runs.
Yeah.
I would say, no one's gotten out to a 10-point lead and then come back. It's been after we've been tied at 16, I don't think anyone's had more than a 4-point lead.
No, and as I really think a big adjustment for the Greyhounds, even though, obviously they're right in this game, they want to have more success. They're going to have to be doing some more pick and rolls.
I agree because they need to scrape some defense off of some girls. We've talked about how that man-to-man defense has been working so well for Grand Rapids, and until Duluth East solves it, Grand Rapids isn't going to get out of it.
No, and and credit to Grand Rapids. Obviously, that half-court man-to-man is something that they've been practicing. On the other side of the court, Duluth East seems to have found some success out of the 2-3 zone. They've been operating out of that since the first 2 possessions where they went the full court press. I'm surprised that Rapids, with the shooters that they've had, especially with Hamling, they've been leaving that outside wing open on the perimeter. So if you're Grand Rapids, try to get the three-pointers in that spot because that's the weak spot of the 2-3 zone, and it's been open, but they haven't taken many shots from there.
They haven't. They've tried to work it inside quite a bit more. We'll take another break and come back, run down first half scoring. It's 31-29. Grand Rapids at the half. You're listening to it on 93.1 and 1320 KOZY. You can give me, I don't know, what do we got left? You can give me another 3 if you want, 2.5 or 3, whatever you like.
They already played this song. It's my inner DJ. I'm going to go down there and handle the music there, Sheldon.
And 4.
Know who does this one?
This one I should know.
Yeah, you should know this
I
one.
recognize this one, but I couldn't tell you who does it.
Well, T-Pain.
Yeah. Back in the Grand Rapids gym as the Thunderhawks come out and take a few shots before we start second half action. Run down what you got for scoring, David.
Who do you want me to start with, Sheldon?
You.
All right, we'll start with the home. We'll start with the home team. Grand
right.
Rapids Thunderhawks with the 2-point lead, 31-29. They got 6 first half points from Katie Jamgard, 5 from Kyra Giffen, 2 from Hannah Hostetter, 4 from Brea LaPlante, 2 from Jessica Lofstrom, 10 from Taryn Hamling, and 2 from Jenny Bowman. So pretty much everybody getting involved offensively for the Thunderhawks. Meanwhile, for the Duluth East Greyhounds, they're right in this contest, just down by 2. They got 2 first half points from Macy DeRozier, 18 from Ashlyn Gunther, 7 from Regan Juniman, and 2 from Sydney Zwack.
So, yeah, as you mentioned, certainly a much more balanced attack from the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks. We had quite a few fouls in the first half, but no one really in foul trouble, no one with more than 2, is there?
Well, I've got Jessica Lofstrom for Grand Rapids with 3.
With 3, okay.
But other than that, nobody else with 2. You've got Jamgard with 2 for the Thunderhawks, and then for the Greyhounds, the following all have 2. Macy DeRozier, Ashlyn Gunther, Emma Hariza, and Regan Juniman.
So the Duluth East Greyhounds getting instructions in front of the bench. They're not going out and shooting around here before the second half. Usually you see teams trying to take a few shots and get loosened up after being off the court for 10 minutes.
Usually, I've never seen it where they don't.
They're not, because we're ready to go.
Yeah, I guess if you're just always ready.
I guess.
You're already a walking bucket. It's no big deal. I'd like to thank some more sponsors here while we await the start of the second half. Ray Sport Marine, Peterson Insurance, Taco John's, Spartan Deli, S&S Meats, Jimmy John's in the Country Kitchen. Thank you so much, sponsors, for bringing us Thunderhawk basketball on KOZY.
They always try to make me hungry. There's all of those food service places, bringing you Thunderhawk sports. It's like, come on, man.
I say my stomach did move a little when I was reading those. I was like, man, I'm hungry too.
It will be Duluth East basketball as we start second half action. I was trying to remember when the possession arrow changed. It's like it's always Duluth East possession arrow.
And they're going left to right now, Rapids right to left in your radio.
And here we go with Grand Rapids leading by 2, 31-29 on the outside. Hariza goes into the corner on the wing, now tries to go inside, and there was no way that pass was being completed as Giffen intercepts it.
Yeah, Giffen swallowed that thing up with two hands.
Now the drive from the wing, put up the left-hander for Lofstrom. That won't go, and the rebound comes down to the Greyhounds. Stevens to the far side to Hariza guarded on the outside by Hamling.
Thunderhawks in a 2-3 zone now.
Bounce pass inside, won't go. Rebound put up, still won't go. Backside rebound, no. And finally, Grand Rapids will pull it down. 3 cracks at it for Duluth East before Jamgard finally pulled down the rebound. Hamling, long 3, back rim, no good.
Well, there's that shot from the wing that's open with that 2-3 zone that Duluth East is running, just unable to score.
And on the other side, trying to run the fast break, Juneman didn't score, but she was fouled, and she'll go to the line for a couple.
So it's interesting that Rapids has come out in the 2-3 zone after that half-court man-to-man defense has been so effective, but sometimes you just like to give them a different look. They're coming out of the, I'm sure they even talked about how to beat the half-court press, and now they have to face the zone.
Now you got to go to your zone offense. I like it. It's like you're trying to push against something, and all of a sudden it moved.
Right. Yeah, it's a little gamesmanship and a good strategy here by head coach Hamling.
31-30, first free throw good, second one also good, and we are tied at 31. Those free throws going to Juneman as Hamling brings the ball into the front court. Far side to Giffen. Giffen now to Jamgard. Bowman leaves it for Hamling. And the give and go, and down the lane to Lofstrom, who finishes. And that cut down the lane cut has been where Grand Rapids has been making money offensively.
Yeah, they give it up and then just take off right to the basket. And like you said, that's been their bread and butter here tonight.
Turnover. Hamling comes on the drive, knocked away, and they're looking at each other, and they say Grand Rapids basketball.
Yeah, good job by Hamling not grabbing that ball as Hariza had touched it last. She just watches it go out of bounds. She would have been a little off position, off balance if she grabbed it. So smart play.
Hamling will inbound. 33-31. Grand Rapids by 2.
Ooh.
And that one will be thrown into the backcourt, and a turnover.
Just a bit outside on the pass.
Yeah, by the way, it's Bob Euchre's birthday today.
Was he the one who said that?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I did know it was his birthday, though. That's, yeah.
86, I believe. Just a little bit outside. Man who also said the best way to catch a knuckleball is to wait until it stops rolling and pick it up. 33-31 Grand Rapids. I always loved that quote.
That's a good one.
16:02 to go second half.
And Duluth East with an errant throw. Ball goes out of bounds baseline. Rapids gets the ball back with a slim lead.
Hamling into the front court. Goes to the far side to Giffen. Giffen back to Bowman straight away. Now at the angle, Jamgard to Bowman, who flashes across the lane and lays it home.
Well, and Duluth East finally did a good job reading the give and go, but then she just spins her way around the defender. 35-31, 4-point Rapids lead.
On the outside, the drive by Stevens. Oh, the Red Sea parted, or the Orange Sea, and Stevens rolled to the hoop and laid it home.
You read my mind. I was just going to make a Red Sea parting, so that's clearly what it looked like. We were on the same page.
Well, orange-red, it's close.
Either way, it was Moses-like.
Didn't have a staff, but other than that, I agree. Bowman on the outside will leave it there. Jump shot, no for Jamgard. Ball on the floor. We'll have a whistle and a foul on the
timeout.
they say.
That's another smart play by Hamling. So
Yes.
Hamling dives for the ball, and oftentimes when you dive for the ball and you get it in your possession, your initial reaction is to get up. But that's when you get called for a travel. So she's laying there with the ball. Coach Hamling sees her, makes the timeout.
And Grand Rapids will save the possession, leading by 2 at 35-33. So, again, this game staying tight. And so we're seeing some good stuff from both sides.
Yeah, and it has been exciting, has been back and forth. Neither team able to really take control, and it just has one of those, it's got that feeling, that vibe of coming right down to the wire.
And just looking, I see I was just looking at a hockey score, 0-0, Hibbing and International Falls going at it at Hibbing Memorial. And 29-24 Proctor, except I'm not sure who they're playing. I just know they're ahead. Here's Grand Rapids. On the outside to Jamgard. Jamgard, far side, Bowman. Bowman. Now back to Jamgard. Working around the outside. Giffen, back to Bowman, way on the outside. Now Lofstrom. Grand Rapids hasn't tried to go inside at all here, just worked it around the perimeter. And that's still where it is, angle left. Now angle right to Lofstrom. Hamling fakes the crossover. Now a baseline jumper. LaPlante, no.
Yeah, LaPlante didn't feel comfortable with the distance. She dribbled up to get a closer shot, but she dribbled closer to the defender. She should have probably just shot it where she got the pass.
On the outside, Stevens. Stevens, little turnaround baseline. Out of bounds, it'll remain. And that was from Sydney Zwack. And it's tipped out of bounds, but it will remain Duluth East basketball.
Blocked out of bounds. Bowman with some good defense. Far side low post, blocked it. Saw the defender was going to grab it for the offensive rebound. She just pushed it out of bounds. Good heads up play.
And that last possession as inbounds, and we'll have
That was a good
block,
foul.
but a foul.
Good foul by Lostrom. You can't let her go that easy to the bucket. On the inbound, you had Gunther coming hard to the hole from outside the perimeter, and the defender had just had to prevent the easy bucket.
Gunther hasn't scored so far in the second half, but has 2 free throws here. First one good, second one coming. Looking to get to 20 points, her average 26.5. And the last possession for Grand Rapids, the first time I've said the offense looked a little stagnant, people standing around a little bit. Second one no good for Gunther. A 1-point Grand Rapids lead. Hamling to the far side to Giffen. Giffen. Now to LaPlante. LaPlante to Hamling. Hamling to Bowman. Bowman cuts across the lane, gives it off inside. Dribble up, no. Rebound. Lofstrom got it.
That was a good extra pass by Bowman. She could have maybe rose up for the shot. She saw the defenders committing to her, so she dumps it down low, and Lofstrom took 2 tries at it, but able to bank it in.
Now on the outside for Gunther. Ashlyn Gunther goes in the corner. Stevens, the 3 from the corner won't fall. And Grand Rapids, the ball in a 3-point lead. Yeah, it just feels like when Rapids goes to that low post, or at least to the edge of the lane, then the offense kind of clicks a little more. On the outside, 3-pointer for Giffen. Got it, and it's the biggest lead of the game for the Thunderhawks at 6.
Nice inside-outside game working there. They got it down low, forced the defenders to commit, back outside for the open 3.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was talking about. When they just stay on the outside, it gets stagnant. But when they go down low and kick it out, then the offense starts clicking. Grand Rapids with a 6-point lead, 13:01 to go as we come come to another timeout. Richard Wint wanting to talk about it. We'll keep it here and talk about something, whether it's Bob Euchre's birthday or the great one's birthday.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
60 years old. Looking good. I hope I look that good at 60.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, I was looking at 1981. He scored 50 goals in 39 games and 92 for the season.
So, all right, here's a question. All right, just since we're talking about it, was he that good, or was the competition just not as good as he is?
Well, I said on the air today, I think if he'd play in the league today, he'd probably only have 10 goals.
Really? Well,
he is 60.
Well, yeah. And you still think he'd get 10 goals? That's what Joe was saying today. He said, well, do you think he can still play? I'm like, he can play, but he's going to get wrecked. One big check. But you don't want to be the guy to check Wayne Gretzky, do you?
You just leave him go, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like people did with Gordie Howe when he was 54 and still playing in the NHL.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, exactly. You broke Gordie Howe's leg when he was playing at 54 with his two sons on a line?
Yep.
Come on, man. 13:01 to go. Grand Rapids leading 40-34. And off the timeout, Duluth East with the basketball, far sideline.
Yeah, I think this is, if it's not, it's close to the biggest lead of the game for Rapids here.
I believe it is the largest lead of the game, the largest one I remember for sure. Bounce pass knocked out of bounds. Oh, save. That was one that probably DeRozier should have let go out of bounds. They would have saved possession. Instead, it's Grand Rapids ball. Now Hamling. Down low. Lofstrom turns, blocked.
She double clutched it.
Yes. Kicks it back outside now. As she stayed with it, Grand Rapids at least maintaining possession. Now Lofstrom will take the baseline, jumper in and out, rebound, and we'll have a whistle and a foul called, I believe, will go against Grand Rapids on the battle down low. That's where most of these fouls have been called. Not in the half court, not on a drive, but battling for rebounds.
Yeah.
Girls don't want to give up anything.
No, each team committed to trying to win the battle on the glass, and when that happens, as you mentioned, you get a lot of fouls.
Ball knocked out of bounds as Grand Rapids rolls out some pressure, little zone pressure.
Yeah, running the 2-2-1 full court pressure here.
As Gunther will move it into the front court to DeRozier. DeRozier dribbles to the free throw line. Back out to Gunther. Gunther puts the ball on the floor, drives, finishes.
Beautiful move. She pump fakes, gets the defender just a half step off to her right, blows by her on her left, drives the lane, lays it in.
4-point Grand Rapids lead. Hamling to Lofstrom, drives, kicks it back out. Giffen, drains another two, they say. Foot on the line.
And Juneman was right in her face, and she's got ice in her veins, knocks it down.
42-36, Grand Rapids. Ahead it comes to Juneman. Juneman now to Gunther. Gunther straight away, guarded by LaPlante. You know, she's drained 2 threes, but she rather drive. On the outside, the drive from the corner and the finish for Macy DeRozier.
That was a tough finish for DeRozier. You can tell she's not comfortable with her left hand because that would have been a perfect left-hand opportunity, but she forced it two-hand with the right, but she able to get that one in.
Three-pointer won't fall. As that one went up from Sherping, and ball fought for out of bounds, and it will go to Duluth East. Grand Rapids leading 42-38, 10:49 to go. Second half action as Giffen.
She's not in a ton of trouble yet, but that is the third foul on Hamling. 5 and you're out.
4 team fouls on Grand Rapids this half to 0 for Duluth East. We'll see if that comes into play. Comes to the near side to Stevens. Stevens down the lane and dishes it off to Gunther, who finishes. And just like that, we're back to 2 points. 42-40 Grand Rapids.
And Gunther's so good at body positioning. She just creates space for herself where the defender can't defend the shot without fouling.
Lofstrom across the lane, powers it up through 2 defenders, but it won't fall. On the rebound, here comes Juneman. Juneman into the corner, DeRozier.
Travel.
And travel on DeRozier.
Rapids needs to calm down a little bit, I think, offensively. They're starting to rush it a little bit, and I think they just need to relax and get back to running their plays here.
Sherping will inbound as Hamling will bring it up. Grand Rapids leads by 2 at 42-40. It was 6 just a bit ago. Lofstrom in the corner to LaPlante. LaPlante almost throws it away. Jam guard to Hamling. The 3, got it! We had the perfect angle. I thought it was just offline, but hooked the front rim and went down.
Wide open. You can't leave Hamling that open. There was no defender. They were social distancing there. There was 6 feet of separation.
Three-pointer in the corner won't go. Another three-pointer, and they're leaving Juneman wide open. She missed 2. Rebound, long rebound. Ahead it goes to Hamling. Hamling puts her head down, drives, and she is, I call that getting your money's worth foul. She is racked up going inside. She'll have 2 free throws and a little slow getting up.
Well, and I appreciate her aggressiveness and drive to score, but that's a situation there. It was 1-on-3, and she took it right into the teeth. At that point, dribble back out, let your help offense come. But she does get to the free throw line, but she took a hard shot.
Free throw no good.
First foul on Riley Stevens. Each team making substitutions.
So am I correct? Taryn Hamling came into the game 7 for 7. She's 0 for 2 now.
Ever since you said something,
Yeah,
Sheldon.
yeah. But she's 0 for 2, so she's due. That one's good. 46-40. Now I'm off the hook, right?
Well, we'll ask her.
On the outside, here's DeRozier. DeRozier picked up three-quarter court. Grand Rapids now Juneman. Juneman on the outside. This is Kuklak. Kuklak down low for DeRozier. DeRozier now to Gunther. Gunther works toward the middle. Juneman on the outside. She took 2 open threes last time, didn't hit either of them.
And now she's passed up 2 open threes.
Yes, she has. Grand Rapids has decided she's not the threat to shoot from outside.
Yeah, and Rapids been running that 2-3 zone this entire second half, which again leaves that space open.
As Hamling drains a 3 on the other side, and Grand Rapids now up by 9 at 49-40. Three-pointer won't fall. Going that way, and Hamling up to 17 now. So she's passed her season average. Inside, LaPlante can't finish. 8:19 to go. Grand Rapids, their largest lead of the game at 9. Gunther on the far side, gets it to Zwack. Now back to Juneman. Juneman straight away outside the three-point line. Bounce pass to Gunther, won't go. Rebound LaPlante. LaPlante falls down, and Grand Rapids, that was scary, and also good awareness by Sherping to come get it.
She does appear to be okay. Yeah, she went down in a heap. You thought maybe she rolled something.
Pump fake. Bowman drives, finishes, and Grand Rapids double digits at 51-40. Bringing the ball up the floor is Gunther. And we'll have a timeout by Richard Wendt. Grand Rapids has opened it up here in the second half. It was a 2-point lead at halftime, now 51-40 with 7:27 to go. And right now with the defense Grand Rapids plays, this is a time that, this is a good timeout for Richard Wendt and the Greyhounds. They need to find a way to stay in touch here.
Yeah, and it's just like it seems like
quick.
it happened so fast, where it's just been a couple possession game. Now all of a sudden you look up and Rapids is winning by 11. And, kudos to them defensively, getting steals, getting stops, and, forcing Gunther to make hard shots. They're not giving her anything easy. If she beats you, but they're all contested.
she'll probably get to her average. She's at 23 right now, and average is 26. But for Grand Rapids, it's been a hard 20, for Gunther, it's been a hard 23, and no one else has really stepped up to take the burden off of her.
And with opportunities is Regan Juneman, the 8th grader, and she shows flashes of being that Robin to her Batman, but maybe just not quite there yet. But you see it developing.
Stevens will inbound for the Greyhounds. 7:27 to go, and Grand Rapids leading by 11 at 51-40. The inbound comes to Hariza. Hariza guarded by Jamgard on the outside. Inside, Gunther, and we'll draw the foul. And Bowman says, not on me, it can't be.
Well, she's hoping it's not, because that's going to be her 4th, but definite foul there. But again,
and it is her 4th.
Nothing easy. Nothing easy. Send her to the line. You make them at the line, you make them at the line.
And Gunther has been a pretty consistent 1 for 2 from the line so far tonight, so it's better than giving her the bunny inside, and that one misses, back rim.
Right on cue.
Yeah. I just said what she had been doing.
I know, it just fit perfectly with what transpired.
So if that's the case, she'll make this one. As Gunther, on cue, goes 1 of 2. And checking in now is Hannah Hostetter. Checking out Bowman with the 4 fouls. LaPlante also out after that. I think she may be landed on the wrist a little hard. That's what I see her looking at on her wrist and hand when she fell just a bit ago. As we'll have the whistle and the foul inside. Just the 2nd team foul going against Duluth East.
Well, a little sense of urgency is starting to grab hold of Duluth East right now. You've been in it the whole time. Now you look up, 7 minutes left. You're down by 10, so they're trying to force the action here.
And that is the 3rd foul on Gunther. Inbound pass goes to Jamgard. Jamgard working around the outside. Giffen, the 3, got it! Kyra Giffen, her 2nd 3, 3rd long-range shot. She had a long 2 as well. 54-31 Grand Rapids.
The sophomore stepping up in a big way for the Thunderhawks as they're trying to put the finishing touches, put the final nails in the coffin of this victory.
And the ball tipped away out of bounds, but it will remain Duluth East basketball.
I mean, those are the type of shots down the stretch that are so huge, going from a 10-point to a 13-point lead, just like that.
54-41, 6:33 to go. Duluth East down low. DeRozier puts it up and puts it in.
She kissed it high off the glass. That was outside the box even.
Yes, it was. Well, it was from an angle. It's like, really? I didn't expect her to use the window there, and she did. Giffen on the outside. Brings it to Hostetter. Hostetter back out to Hamling. Hamling now to Lofstrom. Jamgard on the wing, goes inside and taken away. Look to go to Giffen, cutting down the lane, but it's taken away by the Greyhounds. And Gunther will knock down the 2, 54-45.
Yeah, she went coast to coast, pulled up for the mid-range jumper, and just made it look easy.
Now here's Hamling.
Smart by the Thunderhawks to be patient here.
From the corner, rolls around and rolls in for Hannah Hostetter. 56-45.
Yeah, you take 20-plus seconds off, and then you finish it with a bucket. That's tough to beat.
Juneman again, the 3-pointer short, but Gunther will clean up the board and lay it home. No one blocked her out. That was too easy.
Yeah, and it went right to her, hit the rim right in her breadbasket. She gets up and gets it in.
Hamling behind the back, drives, kicks it, and will draw the foul.
Was that on Gunther? That'll be her 4th.
If it's on Gunther, it's her 4th.
Nope, it's not on her. They called it on Hariza instead. That'll be her 3rd. So a break there for the Greyhounds, because you don't want your star with 4 fouls with 5 minutes left.
And I would say, down by 9 points here, 5 minutes left. Gunther with 28 points. You're not going to pull the comeback with her on the bench.
No. I mean, anything is possible, but it's way easier with her on the court.
And we have a travel called. That should be Grand Rapids basketball.
And that was the exact opposite when we highlighted Hamling earlier. When she fell on the ball, she stayed there, let the coach call the timeout. But the natural reaction when the defenders close in on you is to move away from the defender. That's what happened this time, and you get called for a travel.
Bowman and LaPlante check back in. Bowman with the 4 fouls. LaPlante was flexing her hand on the bench after the fall, but they're both back in. Grand Rapids by 9 at 56-47, 4:58 to go. Inbound comes to Lofstrom, now Giffen. Giffen has a couple threes tonight. Now Bowman well on the outside, goes to LaPlante on the far side. LaPlante finds Giffen. Now here's Lofstrom. Lofstrom to Giffen. Giffen far side. And the floater, that's a tough runner, won't go. And the rebound pulled down by Duluth East and the foul. You know, I was watching for a while that I've not seen the ball go around that much without going into Hamling's hands at all. Everyone else touching the ball but Hamling. Is she on the floor? Yes, she was. Just didn't touch the ball in that rotation.
Yeah, pretty much every possession she touches the ball at least once. But good ball movement that time, even though she didn't grab it. Rapids is trying to take what the defense gives you, and they don't have to worry about rushing because the clock's on their side. They just unable to get that floater, but it was a nice looking look.
4:20 to go, turnover. Hamling moves it ahead to Giffen. Giffen to Bowman, side of the lane, double team. Kick it back outside. Hamling looks to drive, back out to LaPlante. LaPlante to Lofstrom. Little motion offense right now for the Thunderhawks as LaPlante drives, baseline pass, Giffen baseline jumper, no. Rebound, kept alive, not kept alive.
How about that steal by Giffen at the top of the arc in that 2-3 zone, started that whole offensive possession. I've been really impressed by what I've seen. This is my first look at the Thunderhawks this year. Giffen looks like a real baller out there.
56-47, Grand Rapids by 9. Zwack to Juneman, now the corner jumper, no. Juneman tries to run down the rebound but can't. The jump shot taken by Horiza in the far corner. And Grand Rapids basketball, Hamling will inbound against a little bit of token pressure. Not much, just enough to say don't fall asleep.
Yeah, 1-2-2.
Picking it up about 3/4 court. At the free throw line. Hamling tried to dish it to the corner, and it was the right idea, but it was tipped and then not able to be controlled by Jamgard, and it rolls out of bounds. 3:24, Grand Rapids by 9. Couple key possessions coming up here for Duluth East. Juneman, the jumper. Rim no good, but the rebound. DeRozier. DeRozier to Gunther. Gunther goes far side. Looking at the three is Zwack, but instead drives in, and Gunther will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and that's on double deuce. Bowman, she's got her hands up,
yeah.
but you got to keep your feet set, and just didn't do it that time. Ends up being a good foul, and I believe that's her 5th.
It is.
So she'll fall out with 6 points. Had a couple real nice drives down the lane. Had some important buckets here for the Thunderhawks, and she's had the unenviable task of being one of the main defenders on Gunther here tonight.
Gunther on the line for 2. 3:02 to go. Grand Rapids by 9. First one good.
It's 29 points now for Gunther.
Chance to get to 30 right here. And has it. She's warmed up now. She's going 2 for 2 from the line. 56-49.
1-2-2 half-court pressure here again by Duluth East.
Hamling, free throw line, Jamgard in the corner. Back out to Hamling. Hamling at the angle now straight away for Giffen. Giffen, little jab step, and we're going to have a timeout called by the Thunderhawks. They lead by 7 with 2:44 to go. That little burst in the middle of the half made it an 11-point lead, and then Duluth East been hanging around, cutting it a little closer. The game's far from over.
Yeah, far from over, and as you mentioned, it happened so fast. It was like a 4-point lead, then 6, and all of a sudden it was 10. And with how close these two teams have played, once you give yourself just that cushion, it's tough to make up ground, and that's what we're seeing here from the Greyhounds as we come down the stretch.
So the Thunderhawks call a timeout here as Grand Rapids trying to go to 3-1 on the season, and they face 2 of the top scorers in northern Minnesota. Of course, we talked about Jana Neepkins in the pregame show, averaging over 30 points a game, and she torched the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks in the Duluth Marshall win. Here, Gunther has been doing her thing for Duluth East, but Grand Rapids has been able to shut the rest of the team down pretty well, and right now has a 7-point lead.
Yeah, and if that Juneman could develop her 3-point shot, this is a whole different ball game.
Or you just need someone.
Yeah, anybody
you
else.
need
Anybody
someone
else
to catch and shoot.
But she's been playing that position where she's been the one in that spot, and that's certainly something that she can develop as just an 8th grader here.
LaPlante goes to the outside to Jamgard. Jamgard leaves it for Hamling. Hamling tries to turn away from pressure, hands it off to Jamgard. Grand Rapids playing without Jenny Bowman, senior captain, who's fouled out now. Now here's Giffen. Giffen, better move it close to a closely guarded call. Back to Giffen on the wing. LaPlante and Grand Rapids content to let time run away as driving, now kicking it back outside was Hamling. Now LaPlante, and this is just stall ball. I don't know if Rapids is going to shoot.
And no reason to.
They're just going to make Duluth East foul and try to hit their free throws. And Duluth East has 4 fouls to give. Now 3 as they foul there before they get Grand Rapids in the bonus.
Yeah, kind of one of those rare times where you wish you had more fouls.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see if they go into foul mode more quickly here as LaPlante. LaPlante guarded closely, and Giffen out at the half-court line. And Duluth East trying to get in Grand Rapids' face and getting a steal, but Grand Rapids so far able to protect the ball. Giffen, and she is fouled. If you were in hockey, that was just a good open ice check. She was smacked pretty good with the hip.
Yeah, that was Gunther just trying to do something, try to get the ball back or anything. That's her 4th.
So Grand Rapids is what, run a minute and a half off the clock now?
Yeah,
without taking a shot?
They've been killing it very, very effectively here. They got some good ball handlers, this Thunderhawk squad.
Lofstrom in the corner to LaPlante. LaPlante backs it back outside, minute 24 to go.
You know, you can tell they trust each other, too.
Yeah.
It's not 1 or 2 people, just because sometimes you see this stall at the half court where you pass it back and forth, one to the other. The whole team's involved.
And Hamling is fouled, and now the next foul will put Grand Rapids at the free throw line. And this was absolutely the right coaching call, absolutely. And at least they didn't just stand out by center court and hold the ball, but you still need a shot clock in Minnesota high school basketball, my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
Lofstrom in the corner to LaPlante. LaPlante will throw it away, so Grand Rapids kills 2 minutes of the 3 that was left and finally gives it up without taking a shot. But now Duluth East has to go fast.
Yeah, you would have liked to have got the ball a little quicker if you're the Greyhounds. This next possession, as we have a timeout by Coach Hamling, this next possession is critical for the Greyhounds. They almost need a 3. You don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-possession game right now.
But that gets you to 52, and then you're just down by 4.
That's right. Do you think Coach Hamling makes a different decision offensively if it's only a 2-possession game? The fact that they were just outside that and had it a 3-possession, let them go to that stall.
Depends how much you trust it. I think if you trust it and they show that they can do it, I think you go back to it. If you don't feel 100% confident in it, you don't. It's her comfort level, I think, with it.
Yeah.
And they certainly showed they can do it.
Well, I was thinking with 3 minutes left, that fact that they still had a 3-possession lead gave Coach Hamling the comfort level to do that. With a minute or 45 seconds left, yeah, you could do it again, because I think at least for this next possession, no matter what happens, Duluth East is going to be in foul mode.
Yeah, you got to be. You got to be with under a minute left, and we haven't seen a ton of free throws from the Thunderhawks here tonight, but they certainly have some shooters out there, so I would assume it would translate.
Juneman will inbound for Duluth East, trailing by 7, minute 8 to go.
Walking it up. They need to be a little more urgent here.
On the far side, you need to get it to Gunther and say, get a point here. Gunther goes in. Instead, she'll kick it to DeRozier. Won't go, and Grand Rapids the rebound, and Duluth East doesn't foul.
Well, and Gunther can't because she'll be out.
Yes.
So she was the only one there.
And now the foul is committed by DeRozier. 45 seconds left, and Grand Rapids will be at the line for a 1-and-1.
Well, there.
No.
I thought it was their 7th too, Sheldon. I feel like there's been.
Okay, I thought
we'll
it
go
was
with what the
7th.
officials say. I thought
So
it was
6.
7-2.
I thought it was 6 before that, but they say just 16 fouls. As LaPlante is fouled.
This one better be
that
7.
time by Stevens. And a 1-and-1 coming up for the Thunderhawks. Kate Jamgard will be at the line.
Yeah, I want to look at the tape on that because I swear you were right too, Sheldon.
Oh, nothing but the bottom of the net. That's a clutch free throw for Kate Jamgard.
Yeah, clutching it almost looked flat when it was releasing, but had just enough arc. It goes nothing but net.
Second one coming. That one a little more arc, and that one rattles home. 2 big free throws for the Thunderhawks. They now lead by 9 at 35 with 35 seconds left. Gunther gives the ball up to DeRozier. She'll take the 3. No good. Rebound. Thunderhawks. Oh, the steal and the lay-in by Horiza to keep hopes burning.
Yeah, that was a heck of a steal for Horiza's first bucket of the game, the only senior out there for the Greyhounds. Yeah, it was like they passed it right to her, just a rare miscue by the Thunderhawks.
Grand Rapids still leads by 7 at 58-51. The odds still long, but the heartbeat was getting faint for Duluth East hopes, and that kept it going a little bit.
Yeah, that was one where you just kind of raise your eyebrows. You're like, okay, we can't totally put the bow on this thing yet. So what's that line? You're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. Yeah, well, it's still a 7-point, still a 3-possession game for Grand Rapids. They have led consistently from about the halfway point of the second half, and they had stretched it out to double digits at one point, just barely double digits, but not more than that.
Well, and like we said, with the back and forth action tonight, they had that nice run where they went up by, I think it was 11, and that's been the difference. They're just able to hold on to that, or hold on to enough of it.
Grand Rapids basketball, they'll bring it in against full court pressure.
Backs to the inbounder again, but she's pretty far away to try to bounce it off her.
And instead they throw it deep to LaPlante. LaPlante into the front court, tries to dribble out of pressure, finds Hamling, and Hamling is fouled. She'll go to the line for a 1-and-1.
When they let LaPlante go,
yeah,
and I think it's because Horiza had 4 fouls, and she was the one defending her, so I don't think she wanted to pick up her 5th, because then they let Hamling get the ball, and you would think she'd be the last one you'd want at the line.
I would think so, although hasn't been too good tonight. We'll have to ask her about that. And, that one hangs on the rim and rolls out.
10 seconds left.
Gunther drives, puts it up, won't go. Grand Rapids with the rebound, outlet to Hamling, and Hamling will dribble it out as Grand Rapids with the win, 58-51 in a hard-fought game with the Duluth East Greyhounds. We'll take a break, come back to wrap it up and have our post-game interview. You've been listening to it on 93.1 and 1320 KOZY.
Do you need me to go get? Is she coming up here?
No, they should remember to come up.
Okay.
That's what I'm told. So blow them up and yeah, just keep it till I ask for it, Super Joe. And we'll just use the handheld, that way that
Sure.
one's disinfected rather than giving them your headset.
That makes sense.
Yep, that's all. Yeah, we'll leave it on until we're done here, but thank you. There you go. Well, I'll let you share that mic, and let's see. Move back just a little bit, and we'll even get you on the camera.
You want
How's
me
that?
to do that part, Sheldon?
There you go. That's a lot better than pointing it at David.
Shut
okay,
up.
you can bring it to me. Super Joe. Move close. Yeah. See? Yeah, there. There you go. And it's quiet enough you can hear me even without a headset? Yeah. Okay. I'll try to speak up.
Do they not like travel and double dribble and carry it like
30 seconds.
oh,
Well, I mean, you're on YouTube, but we're not on the radio yet.
your bruise is looking very yellow. I know.
And welcome back to the Grand Rapids Gym, a 58-51 win for the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks, joined by captains, the one senior, Jenny Bowman, and Taryn Hamling. You're both showing the effects of a physical game. Jenny, you fouled out, and you got a pretty good bruise going, Taryn.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the game and just the physicality down low.
Well, I mean, we started out tough in the paint, so obviously it's going to be more tough down there. And, I mean, once you come out, you got to go hard, and it's going to be physical all the way through.
Now, you faced two of the top scorers in northern Minnesota, and Neepkins and now Gunther tonight. She put up her points. What did she do so well, Jenny?
She posts up a lot, and she uses her body really good. She draws fouls. A lot of her points were off of free throws, so yeah.
But you were able to shut the rest of the team down and get the victory. What was the difference tonight as compared to the game against Duluth Marshall?
I mean, against Duluth Marshall, we knew that they only had one player, but she was just so good, and she could shoot anywhere on the court. But knowing number 5, she was more of an inside player, so we knew we could shut her down more in the paint. And I mean, we got a few fouls, but we still kept the team, the guards, from scoring outside the paint.
And Jenny, what was the key in that little run in the middle of the second half where you stretched out the lead to double digits and in a lot of ways put the game away?
Yeah, so we started moving the ball more on offense, being patient, waiting for good cuts so we'd get a good layup, and we weren't just dribbling down the court and taking the first shot. So.
Well, and it looked like the ball movement was pretty good overall, Taryn. Do you think Mom and Coach will be happy with the way the offense ran?
Yes, I think she'll be very happy with how we played tonight.
And I think you're going to Superior. Is this a team you know much about?
We've never played them, so we don't really know anything about it, but.
Well, head to Superior High School on Saturday. We'll see you there. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jenny Bowman and Taryn Hamling here in our post-game interview. And go ahead and wrap up what you got for scoring, David.
All right. So, again, the final score, 58-51. Grand Rapids Thunderhawks moved to 3-1 on the season. Duluth East drops to 0-4, but all of their games have been competitive. We'll start with the Greyhounds for scoring. In my book, these are unofficial, but I do think they're close. I had 2 points for Riley Stevens, 6 points for Macy DeRozier, 30 for Ashlyn Gunther, 2 for Emma Hariza, 9 points for Regan Juniman, and then 2 points for Sydney Zwack. Sydney Zwack. I think I put a Z on her first name,
well,
too.
It almost should be that way, right? A little alliteration there.
So with the win again, Thunderhawks moved to 3-1. They got 8 points tonight from Katie Jamgard, 13 from Kyra Giffen. I was real impressed with the way Giffen was able to play here tonight. 4 points from Hannah Hostetter, 4 from Brea LaPlante, 6 points from Jessica Lofstrom, 17 from Taryn Hamlin, and then 6 from senior Jenny Bowman.
And that will wrap it up here from the Grand Rapids Gym. The Thunderhawks go to 3-1, and they next head to Superior to take on. See, and that all these games against Superior pretty new for Grand Rapids. They're in the Lake Superior Conference for the first year, and so these games against the Superior Spartans, not an opponent they've been used to in the past.
Now, you're more familiar with this type of thing than I am. Is that because of just this strange year with the pandemic, or is that moving forward from here just normal?
That is moving forward. Grand Rapids has fully joined the Lake Superior Conference, so they need to play all of those conference opponents at least once, and Superior is one of those now.
Well, that'll be kind of fun. You know what I mean? That'll be kind of fun. You know, you make new history, you know, and that's going to be, you know, when they compare, like, oh, who scored what against Superior, you know, 20 years from now. You were one of the first. So there's something historic about that. It's cool playing somebody new.
And and we will have that game for you here on KOZY on Saturday, and that's a 12:30 tip-off from Superior High School. Our next Grand Rapids broadcast will be rivalry hockey, Grand Rapids and Duluth East on Thursday night from the IRA Civic Center. Always look forward to Mike Randolph coming to town. That should be a good one. And on 96.9, you're going to be in Deer River for Deer River and Northwoods on Thursday night.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Had a chance to speak with the Northwoods coach here tonight, and I'm looking forward to that matchup as well. You know, one thing you didn't ask Taryn, by the way, was about jinxing her with her free throws.
I forgot about that. I got distracted by the bruise and the, you know, it was a tough game, you could tell.
And I know we're wrapping up, but I want to ask you one thing. The first half, Rapids ran that half-court man-to-man defense. They ran the 2-3 zone the entirety of the second half. So again, I think that was a big thing too, where, you know, the man-to-man was so effective. Think, you know, Duluth East, they go into the half to make those adjustments. Then you run the zone the entire second half, and I think it's a big reason why they ended up winning this game. Keep them on their toes.
Well, and I think that was the way you can collapse inside. They said Gunther's going to go inside most of the time. We're going to take that away, and we're going to give up some wing three looks to some other players and not worry about it, and it was the right strategy.
Yeah, daring them to shoot. I think if they would have started to splash some of those threes, they go back to man-to-man. But until you can prove you can make it, then the zone's perfect because, like you mentioned, you know, Gunther, her bread and butter's down low, getting contact, and she got her points, but you were able to live with it and still get the win.
18 in the first half, 12 in the second half, so they did slow her down in the second half and got that lead mid-second half and ended up with a 7-point win. That will wrap it up. Super Joe pushing the buttons back at the station. David, we're usually on different stations, don't get to broadcast too much together, maybe a little more this year.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully.
I was excited about the opportunity, and you know, the odds are we're going to do some games in the playoffs. So I figured, well, hey, let's knock off some of the rust because the last game we did together was the last game of the season for Northwoods before COVID hit.
Nashwauk.
What did I say? Northwoods.
Yeah.
I had Northwoods on the brain
You
for the
got
game.
it.
Nashwauk,
You got it.
that's right.
Well, maybe I need to come on. I need to do a Deer River game with you
Yeah.
and do some color for you.
So thanks for having me along, and thanks everyone for listening.
That will wrap it up again from the Grand Rapids Gym. 58-51 the final score. You've been listening to it on 93.1 and 1320 KOZY.